Commander Vera stood at her observation deck and watched the incoming ships. Her 4 eyes scanned each vessel with practiced precision. She had served at Border Station Epsilon for 12 years. Nothing surprised her anymore, or so she thought. The human ship appeared on her scanner. It was small and unremarkable. Most human vessels looked the same to her, functional but lacking elegance. The ship requested standard passage clearance through Galactic Patrol territory. Vera approved the landing sequence. She had processed hundreds of human travelers before. They were usually merchants or explorers, sometimes annoying, but rarely dangerous. Still, protocols demanded thorough inspection of all vessels. The human emerged from his ship 30 minutes later. He was tall by human standards, with brown hair turning gray at the edges. He wore simple traveling clothes and carried a single bag. Nothing unusual so far. Vera's security officer Kelth approached the human at the scanning station. Kelth was a Varaxian, with scales that changed color based on his mood. Right now, they showed calm blue. The human placed his bag on the scanner belt. Standard items appeared on the display: clothes, food rations, data tablets. Then the scanner detected something else. Something the human kept in a special compartment attached to his belt. Kelth's scales shifted to orange. Alert status. Vera walked down from her observation post. She moved quickly on her 6 legs. Something in Kelth's posture told her this was not routine. The scanner showed a rectangular device approximately 20 centimeters long. Inside, it contained metal components, power cells, circuit boards, and chemical compounds. The analysis program flagged it as potentially dangerous. "Sir, please remove the device from your belt," Kelth said to the human. The human's hand moved protectively to his side. "That's personal property. It's not a threat." "Our scanners indicate otherwise," Kelth replied. His scales deepened to red. "Please comply, or we will confiscate it by force." The human looked around the checkpoint. Other travelers stopped to watch. A Drelixian family moved away nervously. 2 Korthian merchants whispered to each other. Everyone knew about humanity's violent history. "You don't understand," the human said. His voice carried a strange tone. Was it fear? Desperation? "I need that with me, always." Vera stepped forward. "I am Commander Vera. What is your name, human?" "Marcus Webb." "Look, Commander, that device isn't dangerous. It's important to me personally." "Then you will not object to our security team examining it," Vera said. She kept her voice firm. Years of command experience taught her not to show weakness. Marcus's face changed color. Humans did that when experiencing strong emotions. His skin became more pale. "Please, don't take it. I'll show you what it is. Just don't confiscate it. Remove the device now, or we will remove it for you," Vera ordered. Marcus's shoulders dropped in defeat. His hands shook slightly as he unclipped the device from his belt. He held it for a moment, like someone holding something precious. Then slowly he placed it in Kelth's waiting hands. Kelth carried the device to the analysis station. Vera followed. She watched through the protective glass as technicians began their examination. Meanwhile, 2 security guards escorted Marcus to a holding area, standard procedure for suspicious travelers. He would wait there while they determined the nature of his device. The lead technician was a Sefri named Ilix. She had dozens of flexible appendages perfect for delicate work. She carefully opened the device's casing. "Commander, this is sophisticated technology," Ilix reported. "Human design, but very advanced. I see a small display screen, audio output systems, data storage units, and a power source that could last for years." "A weapon?" Vera asked. "Possibly. Or a communication device. Perhaps for coordinating covert operations. The power signature is unusual. Much stronger than necessary for simple personal use." Vera considered the possibilities. Humans had only joined the galactic community 60 years ago. Many species still did not trust them. Human history was filled with wars and conflicts. Their homeworld had nearly destroyed itself multiple times before achieving space travel. "Continue analysis," Vera ordered. I want to know exactly what this device does and why Marcus Webb values it so highly. She returned to her office and accessed Marcus's travel records. The computer displayed his journey history across the past 3 years. He had visited 47 different worlds. Agricultural planets, industrial centers, scientific outposts, even primitive worlds under observation protocols. On every single journey, security scans showed he carried the same device, always with him, never separated from it. Vera's suspicion grew stronger. This was the pattern of a spy or saboteur, someone who needed constant access to communication equipment, or perhaps a portable weapon that could be assembled quickly. She pulled up Marcus's identification profile. Age 42 Earth years. Occupation listed as xenobiologist. No criminal record in any jurisdiction. But that meant nothing. The best operatives never got caught. Her communication panel activated. It was Ilix again. Commander, we have found something interesting. The device contains massive amounts of data. Video files, audio recordings, images. Thousands of them. Coded information. Vera asked. We are attempting to decrypt now. But Commander, there is something else. Some of the video files show a young human, a child. The same child appears in hundreds of recordings. Vera felt a cold sensation run through her body. Children in intelligence operations, even for humans that seemed extreme. Keep analyzing. I am going to question Marcus Webb directly. She made her way to the holding cells. Marcus sat on the bench with his head in his hands. When she entered, he looked up quickly. His eyes were red. Humans produced water from their eyes when distressed. Where is it? Marcus asked immediately. Is it safe? Did you damage it? The device is being examined. Tell me its true purpose. Already told you. It's personal. You have traveled to 47 worlds carrying this device. You refuse to be separated from it. Our analysis shows it contains advanced technology and massive data storage. What are you really doing, Marcus Webb? I'm studying alien ecosystems. That's my job. The device, it's not related to my work. It's something else. Something private. Nothing is private when it poses a potential security threat, Vera said. She moved closer to the energy barrier separating them. I have seen many species attempt to deceive me. I recognize the signs. You are hiding something. Marcus stood up suddenly. His body language showed agitation. You're right. I am hiding something, but not what you think. That device, it's not a weapon. It's not for spying or sabotage. It's all I have left. Left of what? Of her? Of my daughter? Vera paused. She had not expected that answer. Explain. But before Marcus could respond, her communicator activated again. It was Kelth. Commander, we have decoded some of the files. You need to see this immediately. Vera looked at Marcus one more time. His expression showed genuine anguish, but she could not let emotions override security protocols. This conversation is not finished, she told him, then left the holding cell. Something told her she was about to discover the truth about Marcus Webb and his mysterious device. Whatever it was, she sensed it would change her understanding of humans forever. The question was, would that change be for better or worse? Part 2. The investigation deepens. Vera entered the analysis laboratory with quick steps. Ilix and 2 other technicians gathered around the display screen. The mysterious device sat in a containment field on the examination table. Its casing remained open, revealing the complex electronics inside. Show me what you found, Vera commanded. Ilix manipulated the controls. The large screen on the wall activated. An image appeared. It showed a small human child, perhaps 5 or 6 years old. The child had dark hair and brown eyes. She wore bright-colored clothing and smiled at the camera. This image is one of thousands stored in the device, Ilix explained. We have also found video recordings. Hundreds of hours worth? Play one of the videos, Vera ordered. The screen changed. Now, it showed moving images with sound. The same child ran through a grassy area. She laughed and called out words in the human language English. Daddy, look! I found a blue flower. Can we take it home? The camera perspective shifted. It showed Marcus Webb, but younger. His hair contained no gray. His face looked happier. He knelt down next to the child. "It's beautiful, Emma. But if we pick it, the flower will die. How about we take a picture instead so it can keep growing?" The child considered this carefully. Then she nodded. "Okay, Daddy. We should let it live." The video ended. Vera felt confused. What kind of intelligence operation involved recordings of children and flowers? "Play another one," she said. IX selected a different file. This video showed the interior of a human dwelling. The child Emma sat at a table. Food was spread before her. She spoke excitedly about her day at what humans called school. Marcus listened and asked questions. They both laughed frequently. Vera watched several more videos. Each one showed ordinary moments. A child learning to ride a human transportation device called a bicycle. A child singing songs. A child asking endless questions about the universe. And always, Marcus was there. Patient, loving, attentive. "What is the purpose of these recordings?" Vera asked. "Some kind of code? Are the words carrying hidden messages?" "We have analyzed the audio patterns," one of the other technicians reported. "There are no hidden frequencies or encrypted data streams. These appear to be exactly what they seem. Simple recordings of a human child and her father. That makes no sense. Why would Marcus Webb carry thousands of recordings of daily activities across the galaxy? Why is this device so important to him?" IX's appendages moved in a gesture that indicated uncertainty. "Commander, perhaps we should ask him directly," Vera agreed. But first she wanted more information. Access the device's creation date. When was this technology assembled? IX checked the internal timestamps. The device itself was constructed approximately 3 years ago. But the recordings it contains are older. The earliest files date back about 10 years. The most recent are from 3 years and 2 months ago. Then the recordings stopped completely. 3 years ago. That matched the beginning of Marcus's extensive travel records. He started carrying the device and visiting different worlds all at the same time. "Search our databases," Vera ordered. "Look for any information about Marcus Webb from 3 years ago. Check human news networks, official records, anything." The computer systems worked quickly. Within minutes, results appeared on the screen. Vera read through them carefully. Her confusion deepened further. 3 years and 2 months ago, Marcus Webb had filed a death certificate on Earth for his daughter, Emma Webb, age 7 years. Cause of death listed as medical condition, genetic disorder, treatment unsuccessful. Vera felt something shift in her understanding. She looked back at the frozen image on the screen. The smiling child would never grow older than 7. "He carries recordings of his dead offspring," she said slowly. The concept felt strange to her. Vera's species, the Kelfiri, did not maintain such attachments. When one of their kind died, the body was recycled and the community moved forward. Excessive mourning was considered unhealthy. The dead were gone. Dwelling on them served no purpose. But humans apparently thought differently. "Should we return the device to him?" IX asked. "Oh no, not yet. I need to understand this better. Continue your analysis. I want to know everything about that device's capabilities." Vera left the laboratory and returned to her office. She accessed the Galactic community's cultural database. The section on human customs was extensive. Humans were among the most complex species in the galaxy. She found information about human death rituals. They buried or burned their dead with elaborate ceremonies. They created special places called graveyards or memorial sites. They kept objects that belonged to the deceased. And yes, they preserved images and recordings. One article explained that humans formed extremely strong emotional bonds with family members. The loss of these bonds, especially with offspring, caused severe psychological distress. Some humans never fully recovered from such losses. Vera tried to imagine feeling that way about someone. Her own offspring had been raised in community nurseries. She knew which ones were genetically hers, but she felt no special attachment to them. That was normal for her species. Humans were different. Dangerously different, some said. These intense emotions made them unpredictable. She decided to review the other checkpoint recordings. Perhaps other travelers had noticed something about Marcus that would help her understand. The computer displayed footage from the past 6 hours. She watched Marcus enter the checkpoint, carrying his bag. His hand touched the device at his belt every few minutes. An unconscious gesture, like checking that it remained there in the waiting area. Before the security scan, Marcus had sat alone. He had removed the device and looked at it for several moments. His expression showed deep sadness. Then he had put it away quickly when boarding was announced. Vera switched to interviews with other passengers. A Dralexian merchant had been asked if he noticed anything suspicious. The human. Yes, I saw him on the transport ship. He kept to himself mostly. But twice I saw him watching something on a small device. He had water coming from his eyes. I thought perhaps he was ill. Corthian trader had a similar report. Strange creature, that human. He talked to his device like it could hear him. Said things like, "I wish you could see this, and you would love these stars." I thought maybe humans communicate with their technology differently than we do. More pieces of the puzzle. Marcus spoke to the device because it contained his daughter's memory. He cried because he missed her. He traveled to different worlds and wished she could see them. Vera felt uncomfortable. This was not the behavior of a spy or terrorist. This was grief. Pure and overwhelming grief. But that raised new questions. Why travel so much? Why not stay on Earth where his daughter had lived? Why carry the device constantly? Was this healthy behavior for humans? She contacted the medical bay. "Dr. Thress, I need information about human psychology, specifically regarding loss of offspring." Dr. Thress was a hepteron, a species known for excellent medical knowledge. "Commander, human grief responses are extreme compared to most species. Loss of a child can cause permanent emotional damage. Some humans develop what they call depression. Others become unable to function normally. It is considered one of their most painful experiences. Is it normal for them to carry recordings of the deceased? Very normal. Humans call them memories. They believe keeping these recordings helps maintain connection to those they have lost. For some humans, this is a healthy coping mechanism. For others, it becomes obsessive behavior that prevents moving forward. Which type is Marcus Webb? I cannot diagnose without examination. But if he has maintained his occupation and continues traveling, he may be managing his grief in a functional way. Some humans honor their dead by living fully. Others cannot let go. Vera ended the communication. She needed to speak with Marcus again. But this time, she would approach the conversation differently. She walked back to the holding cells. Marcus stood near the energy barrier, clearly agitated. When he saw her, he moved forward quickly. "Please, Commander." "I know it looks suspicious. I know you have questions. But that device is not dangerous. It is the most important thing I own. Without it, I have nothing." "Can't see the contents," Vera said quietly. "I know about Emma." Marcus's face changed. His eyes widened. Then they filled with water again. "You watched the recordings?" "Some of them, yes." "Then you understand. That device is all I have left of my daughter. Every moment I captured, every time I heard her laugh, every bedtime story, it is all in there. 3 years ago I lost her. The device keeps her alive for me." "But she is not alive," Vera said. It was a statement of fact, not meant cruelly. "I know that," Marcus replied. His voice broke. "Believe me, I know. But when I look at those recordings, when I hear her voice, for just a moment I can remember what it felt like when she was here. Do you understand?" Vera considered her answer carefully. "No, I do not understand. My species does not form such attachments. But I am learning that humans are different, very different," Marcus agreed. "We love deeply. And when we lose someone we love, part of us dies with them. That device is not a weapon, Commander, but it is the only thing keeping me whole." Vera made her decision. "Wait here. I will return shortly." She went back to the laboratory one final time. "Ilix, is the device safe? No explosive components? No dangerous materials? Completely safe, Commander. It is exactly what it appears to be. A sophisticated storage unit for digital memories. Expensive human technology, but not threatening in any way. Vera nodded. She had what she needed, but something still troubled her. Why did Marcus travel so much with such a precious item? What was he really doing out here in the galaxy? She needed answers, and this time she would get them. Part 3. The Revelation. Vera returned to the holding cell, carrying the device carefully in her hands. Marcus saw it, and his entire body relaxed with visible relief. But she did not hand it over immediately. "Sit down, Marcus Webb," she said. "We need to talk." Marcus sat on the bench. His eyes never left the device. Vera noticed how his hands trembled slightly. This was not the behavior of a criminal. This was something else entirely. "I understand now what this device means to you," Vera began. "I have seen the recordings. I know about Emma. I am sorry for your loss." "Thank you," Marcus said quietly. "Can I have it back now?" "Soon, but first I need answers. You have traveled to 47 worlds in 3 years. You carry this device everywhere. You risk it being confiscated or damaged. Why? Why not leave it somewhere safe on Earth?" Marcus looked up at her. His eyes showed deep emotion that Vera still struggled to fully comprehend. "Because Emma was everything to me, Commander. When she died, I almost gave up. I almost stopped living myself. But then I remembered all the stories I used to tell her."
What stories?
"About space. About other worlds and alien species. Emma loved those stories. Every night before bed, I would tell her about planets with purple skies or aliens with 6 legs like you. She would ask a million questions. What do they eat? How do they talk? Are they nice?" She wanted to know everything. Marcus's voice grew stronger as he spoke. "After she died, I could not stay on Earth. Everything there reminded me of what I lost. So I made a decision. I would do what Emma always wanted me to do. I would actually go to those worlds. I would meet those aliens. I would learn their customs and study their ecosystems." "It says you were following your culture's way of handling loss. There is no shame in that. Different species cope differently. But perhaps the human way is better," Vera said slowly. "You carry Emma with you. You remember everything about her. She remains alive in your memory, even though her body is gone. Is that not more honorable than forgetting?" Marcus looked at the photo on the screen. "Tell me about the ones you do remember. What were their names?" "He was my second in command, brave and tactical. He died covering our retreat during the Proxima campaign." Vera felt memories surfacing that she had not accessed in years. Thressa. She was a communications specialist. Always made jokes, even in dangerous situations. She died when our ship was destroyed. And Vorin. He was young and eager. Reminded me of myself at that age. He died from injuries sustained in an ambush. "How did you feel when they died?" "I felt responsible. Sad briefly. Then I focused on the mission. I told myself their deaths had meaning because they died for the galactic community. But I never sat with the grief. I never let myself fully feel it." "Do you want to feel it now?" Marcus asked gently. Vera looked at him in confusion. "Why would I want to experience pain?" "Because grief is not just pain. It is also love. It is the proof that someone mattered to you. When you push away the grief, you also push away the connection you had with them. And humans believe that connection is precious, even after death." Vera sat in silence for a long moment. Then she did something she had never done before. She let herself remember Kelrick's Thressa and Vorin, not as soldiers who died, but as people she had known. She remembered Kelrick's careful planning style. She remembered Thressa's terrible jokes. She remembered Vorin's enthusiasm, and she felt sadness. Deep and genuine sadness that she had never allowed herself to feel before. Water formed in her eyes for the second time that day. "This is painful," she said. "Yes," Marcus agreed, "but it is also beautiful. Because now they are not just names, they are memories. They are part of your story. And as long as you remember them, they are not truly gone." Vera wiped her eyes with her hand. How do humans bear this? If you feel lost this deeply, how do you function? Some of us do not function well, Marcus admitted. Some humans never recover from major losses, but most of us find ways to carry the grief while still living. We create rituals. We build memorials. We tell stories. We keep the memories alive while also moving forward. Is that what you were doing? Moving forward while carrying Emma? Trying to? Some days are harder than others. There are times when the grief feels unbearable. But then I look at her recordings and I remember the promise I made. She wanted me to have adventures. She wanted me to explore. So I do those things, and it helps. The pain does not go away completely, but it becomes something I can carry. Vera accessed her computer terminal. I want to understand this better. Tell me about human death customs and memorial practices. For the next hour, Marcus explained human approaches to death and remembrance. He told her about funerals where people gathered to share memories and support the grieving. He described cemeteries where humans placed markers to remember the dead. He explained how humans kept photos, personal items, and recordings of those they lost. He also told her about different cultural practices within humanity. How some cultures buried their dead while others cremated them. How some believed in an afterlife while others did not. How grief was expressed differently across various human societies, but the fundamental need to remember remained universal. We even have special days dedicated to remembering the dead, Marcus explained. Days where families visit graves, share meals in honor of those who passed, and tell stories about them. It keeps the connection alive across generations. Vera found this fascinating and strange. My species has nothing like this. When someone dies, we recycle the biological matter. We update our population records. Move on. There are no markers, no ceremonies beyond a brief acknowledgement. I always thought this was efficient. Now I wonder if we lose something important. Different approaches work for different species, Marcus said diplomatically. I cannot say which is better objectively, but you can say which allows you to maintain connection with those you love. And that has value, Marcus nodded. Emma's death was the worst thing that ever happened to me. I would give anything to have her back. But since I cannot, having her memories gives me comfort. Looking at her recordings reminds me that she existed, that she was real, that she mattered, and that helps. Vera stood and walked to the window that overlooked the docking bay. Ships came and went constantly. Thousands of beings traveling across the galaxy, each with their own stories of love and loss. I think I understand now why you travel, she said. You are not running from Emma's death. You are honoring her life by doing what she dreamed about. You show her the galaxy through your experiences. Exactly, Marcus confirmed. Every world I visit, I imagine what Emma would think about it. What questions she would ask. What would excite her. It makes the exploration more meaningful. I am not just studying ecosystems. I am sharing adventures with my daughter, even though she is gone. That is beautiful, Vera said softly. And I am sorry I did not understand initially. I saw a suspicious device and assumed the worst. I should have asked questions first. You're doing your job, keeping the checkpoints secure. I do not blame you for being cautious. Vera turned to face him. Marcus Webb, I have a question. You said you tell aliens about Emma as part of your promise. Have you told many others about her? Some, when it feels appropriate. Why? Because I think more beings need to hear her story, and through it, understand humanity better. Would you be willing to share more? Perhaps I could arrange for you to speak at various locations during your travels. Marcus looked surprised. You want me to talk about Emma publicly? I want you to help other species understand what makes humans special. Your capacity for deep love and lasting memory. Your refusal to let death erase those you care about. These are not weaknesses, as some believe. These are strengths. And the galaxy needs to understand that. Marcus held his device close. Emma would love that. She always wanted to help people understand each other. If sharing her story can do that, then yes. I will speak wherever you think it would help. Vera felt satisfaction. This was good. But she also felt something else. a desire to know more about Emma beyond the brief recordings she had seen. "Marcus, would you tell me more about your daughter? Not the circumstances of her death, but about her life. What made her special? What were her favorite things?" Marcus smiled, the first genuine smile Vera had seen from him. "How much time do you have?" "Because I could talk about Emma for hours." "I have time," Vera said, settling back in her chair. "Tell me everything." And so Marcus did. He told Vera about Emma's love of dinosaurs and her collection of toy models. He told her about Emma's habit of naming inanimate objects and treating them like friends. He told her about Emma's terrible singing voice that she used with complete confidence anyway. He told her about Emma's fear of thunderstorms and how they would build pillow forts during storms. He told her about Emma's kindness to other children who were bullied, about her habit of asking deep philosophical questions at inappropriate times, about her love of bad jokes that made no sense, about her determination to learn everything about everything. As Vera listened, she began to understand something fundamental about humanity. They did not just remember the dead as data points or names. They remembered them as complete beings with quirks and personalities and impacts on the world. And that remembering kept those beings alive in a way that transcended physical death. "Your species truly is remarkable," Vera said when Marcus finally paused in his stories. "You carry your loved ones with you, not as burdens, but as treasures. You transform grief into motivation. You turn loss into meaning. I do not think my species could do this." "Maybe you could learn," Marcus suggested. "If you wanted to." Vera thought about Kelrix, Thressa, and Vorin. Could she learn to remember them the way Marcus remembered Emma? Could she honor their memories instead of simply acknowledging their deaths? Perhaps it was time to try. Part 5. The Real Weapon News. Of Marcus Webb's story spread through Border Station Epsilon faster than Vera anticipated. Within hours, station personnel who had heard about the incident began requesting to meet him. Word traveled through communication channels to other checkpoints. Soon messages arrived from across the sector asking about the human who carried his daughter across the stars. Vera found herself in an unusual position. She had transformed from a security commander detaining a suspect into something like a coordinator for an impromptu cultural exchange. And she discovered she did not mind the change. 2 days after the initial incident, Vera organized a gathering in the station's largest common area. Over 200 beings attended. Various species mixed together in ways they normally did not. All came to hear Marcus speak about Emma and about human approaches to love and loss. Marcus stood at the front of the room holding his device. Vera saw his nervousness but also his determination. This was his promise to Emma, being fulfilled in an unexpected way. "Thank you all for coming," Marcus began. "Commander Vera asked me to share my daughter's story with you. This is not just a story about loss. It is a story about why humans love the way we do and why we refuse to forget those we love." He activated the device and projected Emma's image on the large screen behind him. A small girl with bright eyes and messy hair appeared, frozen in mid-laugh. "This is Emma. She died 3 years ago when she was 7 years old. She never got to leave Earth. Never got to meet any of you. But she dreamed about it constantly. When she was dying, she made me promise to have the adventures she could not have. So I carry her memory with me everywhere I go." Marcus shared several recordings with the audience. Emma asking questions about alien biology. Emma drawing pictures of what she imagined other species looked like. Emma declaring she would be a space explorer when she grew up. The assembled beings watched in silence. Some species present did not normally display emotion publicly, but Vera noticed many were affected. She saw it in body language, in small gestures, in the quality of attention they gave. After the recordings ended, Marcus continued speaking. "I know many of your species handle death differently than humans. Some of you probably think we are too emotional, too attached, that we should move on more quickly, and maybe you are right. But our way is not the most efficient." He paused and looked around the room. "But I want to explain what human love gives us. It is not just pain when we lose someone. It is also incredible motivation. Humans have accomplished impossible things because we loved someone, We have crossed impossible distances because someone we loved needed us. We have endured unbearable suffering because giving up would dishonor those we lost. A Varaxian engineer raised his hand. Marcus nodded at him. Yes. My species does not understand this. We cooperate efficiently without deep emotional bonds. Why do humans need such intense connections? Does it not make you vulnerable? Marcus smiled sadly. Yes, it makes us extremely vulnerable. Losing someone you love, that deeply feels like losing part of yourself. But that vulnerability is also our strength, because humans who love deeply also fight fiercely to protect what they love. We never surrender when someone we care about depends on us. We find strength we did not know we had. A Dralexian mother spoke next. I have children. I provide for them and teach them. But my species does not form the permanent bonds humans do. Our offspring eventually become independent, and we rarely see them again. How do you cope with such intense attachment, knowing you will likely lose them someday? That is the hardest part, Marcus admitted. Every parent's nightmare is losing their child. But humans believe the love is worth the risk. We would rather have loved deeply and lost than never loved at all. Emma lived only 7 years, but those 7 years filled my life with more joy than I can describe. Yes, losing her destroyed me, but having known her made me who I am. I would not trade away those years even to avoid the pain of losing her. The room remained quiet as beings processed this concept. Vera stood to the side and watched. She saw understanding dawning on different faces. They were beginning to comprehend what made humans unique in the galaxy. An older Heptaran physician spoke. I have studied human biology extensively. Your brains produce chemicals that create these intense bonding experiences. Oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin. Your physiology literally programs you to form deep attachments. But I am curious. Does understanding the biological mechanism reduce the experience for you? Not at all, Marcus replied. Knowing that my love for Emma comes from brain chemistry does not make it less real. The experience is what matters, not the mechanism behind it. When I look at her recordings, my brain produces those chemicals, and I feel connection to her. That feeling is real regardless of its biological origin. More questions followed. Marcus answered each one patiently, helping different species understand human emotional architecture. He explained how humans used ritual and remembrance to process grief, how they've built support systems to help each other through loss, how they found meaning in tragedy by honoring those who died. Finally, a young Kelfari soldier asked the question that Vera had been thinking about. You said human love makes you strong, but how? Grief seems like it would be debilitating. How does it translate to strength? Marcus looked directly at the young soldier. Let me tell you about human parents who have lost children. Some of them become advocates for medical research, funding the science that might save other children. Some become activists fighting for safer conditions. Some create organizations that help other grieving families. They transform their pain into purpose. He held up his device. I carry Emma's memory and travel across the galaxy, studying ecosystems. Why? Because she wanted to understand alien life. So every discovery I make, every world I explore, I do it for her. Her death did not end her impact on the universe. It expanded it. Because I refused to let her dreams die with her. And in human history, Marcus continued, you will find countless examples of people accomplishing extraordinary things because someone they loved told them they could, or because they were honoring someone's memory, because they were trying to create a world their children could live in safely. Human love is not a weakness. It is the engine that drives us to exceed our limitations. Vera stepped forward at this point. I want to add something. Before meeting Marcus, I thought my species' approach to death was superior. We do not dwell on loss. We move forward efficiently. But I realize now we lose something important. We lose the motivation that comes from honoring those who died. We lose the strength that comes from carrying their memory. She gestured to the photo of her old military unit that she had brought with her. These are soldiers I served with. Many died in combat. I barely remembered their names until Marcus taught me that forgetting them was not a virtue. Now I am learning to remember them properly, to let their memory motivate me to be a better commander and a better person. The gathering continued for another hour. Individuals approached Marcus privately to share their own stories of loss. A Corthian merchant told him about losing his business partner. A Dralexian doctor talked about patients she could not save. A Varaxian pilot described friends who died in accidents. Marcus listened to each story with genuine attention. He did not offer empty platitudes. He simply acknowledged their losses and suggested ways they might honor those memories. Vera watched him turn his personal tragedy into a gift of understanding for others. As the crowd finally dispersed, an unexpected visitor arrived. It was a human woman, another traveler passing through the checkpoint. She was older than Marcus, perhaps 60 Earth years. She approached him carefully. "Excuse me," she said. "I heard your talk. I lost my son 5 years ago. You and I have been carrying his memory device, just like you carry Emma's. But I thought I was weak for not being able to let go. Hearing you speak, I realize I am not weak. I am human." "Thank you," Marcus embraced her. Two humans who had never met before, connected by shared grief and shared love. Vera felt that uncomfortable sensation in her chest again, but now she recognized it. It was the feeling of being moved, of recognizing something profound. Later that evening, Vera helped Marcus prepare for departure. His ship was cleared for immediate travel. All his documentation was updated with priority clearances. He would face no more difficulties at checkpoints in this sector. "You have changed things here," Vera told him as they walked to his ship. "My personnel are looking at their own losses differently now. Some have started creating memory collections of their own. You showed us something we did not know we were missing." "Emma would be so happy about that," Marcus said softly. "She always wanted to help people understand each other. She is still doing that," Vera pointed out. "Through you. It's through her story. She is touching lives across the galaxy even though she never left Earth." "That is powerful." Marcus stopped walking and looked at his device. "I never thought about it that way. I was just keeping my promise to her, but you are right. She's still making a difference. Still helping people, just in a way neither of us expected." They reached his ship. Vera extended her hand in the human gesture of farewell that she had learned. Marcus shook it firmly. "Safe travels, Marcus Webb, and thank you. You taught me that love which transcends death is not a weakness. It is perhaps the strongest force in the universe. Thank you, Commander, for understanding, for listening, and for helping me share Emma's story." As Marcus's ship departed, Vera returned to her office. She looked again at the photo of her fallen comrades. Kelrix, Thressa, Vorin. For the first time, she created digital files for each of them. She recorded everything she remembered about their personalities, their habits, their contributions. It was not much. Her memories were incomplete compared to what Marcus had of Emma, but it was a start. And she felt something shift inside her, a connection to them that she had never allowed herself to feel before. Over the following weeks, reports came in from other stations. Marcus had become something of a traveling speaker, sharing Emma's story at various locations. And everywhere he influenced how different species thought about love, loss, and memory. Some species began adopting human-style memorial practices. Others simply started paying more attention to their own losses, acknowledging grief instead of suppressing it. Human cultural practices regarding remembrance became topics of academic study. Vera received a message from Marcus 2 months later. He was on a distant agricultural world studying plant adaptations. The message included a video file. She opened it and saw Marcus standing in a field of alien flowers. They were beautiful, with petals that shifted colors in the wind. Marcus spoke to his device, to Emma. "Look at these sweethearts. These flowers only bloom once every 10 years. The local species calls them memory blooms because they remember the pattern of each blooming and never repeat it. Just like how we remember people. Each memory is unique and precious. I think you would love these flowers, Emma. They are as beautiful as you were." Vera watched the entire video. Then she did something new for her species. She created her own video message. She stood in front of the memorial she had built in the station's observation deck. A simple display showing images and names of all personnel who had died under her command over the years. Kelrix, Thressa, Vorin, and 17 others. She recorded herself speaking about each of them, not just their deaths, but their lives, their personalities, their dreams, their impacts on others. It took her 3 hours to record everything. When she finished, she sent the file to Marcus. His reply came a day later. Just 3 words. Emma would approve. Vera smiled, something she did more frequently now. She looked out at the ships passing through her checkpoint. Thousands of beings traveling through space, each carrying their own loves and losses and dreams. And she understood now that humans had taught the galaxy something invaluable. They had taught them that the greatest weapon was not technology or military. It was love that refused to die. It was memory that gave meaning to loss. It was the determination to honor those who came before by living fully and caring deeply. Emma Webb never left Earth, but her impact spread across the galaxy. Because her father loved her enough to carry her with him. Because he was willing to share that love with strangers. Because he showed them all that humans were remarkable, not despite their emotional intensity, but because of it. And that lesson, Vera knew, would resonate through the galaxy for generations to come. All because a human carried what others thought was a weapon, but turned out to be something far more powerful. A father's love for his daughter, traveling across the stars, changing hearts and minds everywhere it went. That was humanity's true strength. And the galaxy was better for learning it.